Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Dan from DHTV, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the lock screen on the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. And we're going to go through all the features within this new lock screen, how you can customize it and change the wallpaper. Let's get started. Alright, so what we're looking at right here is the iPhone 14 Pro Max with the always on display right now. If we give it a quick tap, you'll see that it brightens up to the full display of our lock screen. Now, in order to customize the lock screen, you do need to have a few things set up. But before we get into that, I just want to let you know that there is chapters in the description. So if you do want to skip past certain parts of this video, you can and skip to exactly what you're trying to learn. Anyway, we're going to begin with how to customize the lock screen on your iPhone. And it's pretty simple. First, you're going to need to have Face ID set up. You can see it's locked right now at the top. You have to have Face ID set up because if you enter a password, it bypasses the whole lock screen. So you need to have Face ID set up, and it needs to acknowledge and unlock as it did right there. Once it does, you're going to tap and hold on the screen, and it's going to take you to your collection of wallpapers where you can switch between your existing wallpapers, customize them, or even swipe all the way to the right, and you'll have a section here where you can add brand new wallpapers. We'll tap on that. We're going to start with how to add new wallpapers to your lock screen. So in this section here, you have pre-existing wallpapers that Apple has set up, some featured ones. You've got weather and astronomy, emojis, which are really cool and customizable, collection, and color. So you can go through these and just choose what Apple's already set up for you, or you can create them yourself at the top here. In this section, you can use your photos from your photo app and even have those photos shuffle. You have emojis, weather, astronomy, and color. So for us, let's just go over to the emoji here and we'll tap on that. And it's going to automatically open up this wallpaper with our emojis on a little keyboard at the bottom. Now you can choose between 1 and 6 emojis here. So I'm going to remove that one and we're going to create one that maybe will look a little cooler than that little face there. So you want to just choose, let's use this guy here already, just with one. You can see that looks pretty cool as it is. But I'm going to add a couple more features to this. So we'll add this ghost here, some Halloween stuff in there, the pumpkin, and let's go with, is there a thumbs up here? Actually, we'll use the fist pump. So we'll just take the fist pump here, yellow, and there it is. So that's the wallpaper we created, and what you can see here at the bottom, it's in the small grid form factor. You can swipe left, you'll get a medium grid, a large grid, a rings grid, which gives you that design, and then a spiral grid, which makes it look really interesting. So choose the one that you like. I kind of liked the original, just like that, small grid. And you can go back to the emoji keyboard at any time just by tapping the bottom left. And if you want, you could tap the 3 dotted buttons here and you can change the background color. Now I kind of prefer this gray here, but if you changed it to white, or even this color, or if you want, you can even tap up there and you can go through the grid, spectrum, and sliders and change it to pretty much anything you want here within there. So I'm just going to go back into the regular here and we're going to choose that gray, this gray right here, and that's going to be our new wallpaper. Now at this point you can tap add and your wallpaper will be added, but you can actually customize the wallpaper, and that's what we're going to talk about next, how to add widgets to your iPhone lock screen. And it's as simple as just tapping into these widgets sections. You can do it here or in the editor, which I'll show you in a second. We'll tap here and this will bring up all the widgets that we have available to us to add to our lock screen. Now as it stands here, you can see they're pretty basic with Apple apps. Hopefully more developers will be able to get access to this and add their own so you can really customize this lock screen. But for now, let's just choose batteries here. It's always a good one. And you get 2 sizes. So we'll choose the large size and it just pops right up. Let's add our activity goals and things there. And then let's add the stocks. So you can see we have some to choose from here. We'll choose the small stocks as well. So in this category here, this is how it's going to look. You can add 4 small ones, 2 large ones, or any combination in between. And now every time you're on your lock screen, you'll be able to see those widgets. Above the widgets, you have your clock, and it's set with a font, but you can customize this font just by tapping on it, and you'll see we have all these different fonts to choose from right here. So let's just select this one for now, and we can actually change the color here as well, and you can see it changes the font color of everything in our widgets here. So again, you can swipe all the way to the right and you'll get this big wheel here, or some sliders, or the grid, and you can pick any color you want that you think is going to look best with your particular background and setup. So I'm just going to set with this little sort of like purpley dark color here, and I'm going to X out, and that'll be the color I choose for my font. Once you've done that, you have one more option at the top here, and if you tap on it, right now it's set to the date. It's a little bit hard to see because of this wallpaper, but you'll be able to customize it better than I am here. So basically you have the date, but you can add another option here. So let's just add, what do we want to add here? Let's just add my clock or my alarm. Alarms are always good to have. You can see that that has been added to the top as well. When you're done, you can tap add, and that's going to add that wallpaper. You'll get prompted here to set as a wallpaper pair with your home screen, or you can even customize that home screen first, which we'll tap there to do. This is how it's set to work with the custom lock screen. We have the original, we have a color here which we can tap on, and then tap on a second time to choose any color we want, so we can choose a different color rather than having it the same as the lock screen. We can also choose a gradient here, so if we tap a second time, we'll get all these gradients to choose from. We can choose from our photos, and we can even use this blur section. So if we go back to our original, you can see it's blurred out. If we take the blur away, it'll bring that right back in so we can see the full wallpaper right there on our home screen. I'm going to leave it on blur and on original and tap done. And now we've added that wallpaper to our collection here. To activate it, all we have to do is tap on it, and now that's our new wallpaper for our iPhone 14 Pro lock screen. And as you can see here, once the screen dims, that's how it's going to look. And it looks pretty nice. Now, once again, we're just going to tap away here. We're going to let our Face ID unlock our lock screen, and then we're going to tap and hold. There's some other options here that you can choose from. For example, just switching. So if you wanted to switch, you can tap on another wallpaper and you'll be able to switch between them. You'll notice that within each wallpaper, there's a little focus icon. If you use focus on your iPhone, for example, for work, sleep, YouTube is like the one I have right there, for whatever you might use focus for, you can actually set these particular wallpapers to be linked to a focus. So for example, if you're at work and you always use this wallpaper here for work, you can change that focus to be linked with work. Now, anything you have set up in that work focus, all you have to do is go to work, switch to your work wallpaper, and all the settings within that focus will be set to work, and you'll see it right there. This way you don't have to worry about unwanted messages or contacts or anything coming through that you didn't want because you've preset them in focus. Now, if you've never used focus before, there's a link in the description, or you can click the card right there. I have a tutorial on how to use focus and set it up. And it's really good, especially now that we have these wallpapers here, that we can link to them and make it even more useful for us. Now, how to delete wallpapers or how to delete lock screens, it's pretty simple. You're just going to open up the collection again, and then you're just going to go to the one you want and swipe upwards. And then you're just going to tap the garbage can here to delete it. Tap delete this wallpaper, and it's gone. Additionally, no matter where you are on this page, you can always tap this plus here and it'll bring you to the add new wallpaper window as well. Now let's talk about some of the settings and options you have that'll help you customize your lock screen and your home screen. So for this, we're going to open our settings application. We're going to scroll down to where we see wallpaper, and we're going to open that up. Now this is where you're going to be able to see the current wallpaper you have set up, and you do have some customized buttons there, and you have a button to add a new wallpaper. First off, if you tap on any of these sections here, it's going to open that up. So we can see the current lock screen that we have here. We can switch between the different vibrance, deep, vapor, bright, all that, whatever you get when you're creating a new one, like I showed you earlier with the emojis. But you can customize these as well. So for example, tapping in those boxes, you can make all those changes like we did earlier. They're all the same here, but that's where you would change them from the settings. And this is especially useful for those of you that don't have Face ID set up on your iPhone. You would come to this page to make those changes. You'll also be able to add a new wallpaper here, so you can see the same style of wallpapers that Apple has set up here. You can add those in and customize them as well. The only limitation you have in the settings application is the fact that you can't switch between wallpapers, and you won't be able to take advantage of those focuses that you associate with the wallpapers. Now, I think that's an oversight on Apple. They should probably add an option here for those people that don't use Face ID to give them still the ability to switch between their wallpapers. Additionally, for those of you that don't like that always on display, we'll just take another look at it right here where it shows you everything here. You like the old traditional screen where it's all black. you can then just log into your iPhone here and open up the settings application again. And from here, you're going to go down to the display and brightness section. If you scroll down, you'll see the always on display option. If we turn that off and we lock our iPhone, now we're no longer seeing the display. It goes back to the traditional black. If you tap on it, it'll bring up the lock screen. It's not going to dim down this time. It'll just fade to black like it did in the past. And you can always turn that feature back on just by going back into those settings here. Personally, I like it, but it's up to you. So that's how you customize your lock screen on the iPhone 14 and 14 Pro. As always, there's a link in the description to more great tips, tricks, and tutorial videos like this one here. So if you're looking to learn more about your new iPhone 14, definitely check that out. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this, and click the bell notification box so you're notified when I post new videos. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to help you out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.